Welcome Amakhosi Network, welcome to the channel. Yo, Amakhosi Amahle. I have to now talk about the disaster that happened against the SuperSport United. But what we're going to do in this video is we are going to break down what happened in that game. We are going to do player ratings. And the other thing I want to tell you is, yes, we may lose to Sundowns. Yes, it's very true. We may lose to Sundowns. But Amakhosi, these things that are happening to Chiefs may be a blessing in disguise, and I will tell you about that later in the video. But before we get into that, like, comment, and subscribe. That's all what I want you guys to do is subscribe. And guys, subscribe, man. Come on, please. Anyway, let's get into it. The player ratings, Vuma. Look, majority of the goals, Vuma could not do anything. 3 out of the 4 goals, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and act like Vuma could have done something. If it was Vuma, if it was Peterson, if it was Itumeleng Kune, if it was even Ronwin Williams, any keeper you're thinking about. Yesterday's game, Vuma was just left stranded. Like, this guy was basically facing people who were doing tap-ins. The last goal was just one of those goals where it was just so beautiful that I'm not even going to even try to say, hey, positioning. You know what? The first 2 and the last one, it's that. But the third one is on Vuma. Vuma keeps making the same mistake in each and every game. Why do I say this? Did Vuma not learn from Nwabali? Nwabali in the previous game, we basically got 2 goals from Nwabali doing this dumb thing of saving the ball into play. Vuma then says, Nwabali, I can do you better. I'm going to push this ball into a SuperSport United player. The reason why I'm saying this is Vuma has a bad habit. He's a hesitant keeper, and I dislike hesitant keepers. A hesitant keeper is a keeper who, when they leave their pole or they leave their 6-yard area, they are not sure of themselves. Vuma is not sure of himself. If you watch the highlight of that goal, when the ball was getting crossed, Vuma knew where the ball was going. He knew exactly where the ball was going, but he was hesitant. And the moment he then decided that I'm going, the other part then hit him. The second round of worries hit him. He was like, must I catch or must I parry? And you know what he did? He got caught in both those decisions. And that's why if you go out and you say, I'm going to clear this ball, I'm going to hit it out, you need to hit it out with power. And this is not the first time we say this to Vuma. Vuma has this tendency of whenever he has to punch a ball or whatever the case may be, he fluffs. In the previous game, he had to punch a ball out, he fluffed the ball, we almost conceded. That's why in that cheaper game, there were nuggets to show you that this is how Chiefs can concede. And today we concede with that. But Vuma, I'm going to give him a rating of 5. He didn't really give much encouragement to us, but a lot of the goals he couldn't do much about. And apart from the goals that we conceded, like, there's not much work he had, really. But anyway, because he was beaten. Most times he was beaten. Like, Dotley saved him. Like, every time Vuma was saving, he was beaten. Like, I don't recall a time where he actually made like a save. I just remember him just getting beaten. A shot on target was a goal. But anyway, Cross, I am going to give a rating of 2. Cross, I'm going to give a rating of 2. Yes, there's a truth in the Cross matter. The truth in the Cross matter is this. There are players who also are to blame for the goals that Cross is conceding. I will tell you that. And not the second goal. I'm talking about the first goal, and I'm talking about that chance that Saile gave to Ulunga that Dudley cleared off the line. There are players in those moments who also sold Ukross. But the thing is that Ukross, his positioning, he loses this. I don't know why. He forgets who he is in the game, and for whatever reason, Cross thinks he's an attacker. He thinks he's an attacking player. It even makes me wonder. And maybe you guys will run me. Maybe you guys will think I'm talking nonsense. But anyway, When this guy got to Europe, I recall very clearly, he got to Europe playing left back. But then he was converted into a centre back. Do you think that these other teams did not pick up this? And then they decided that this guy, he has a good pass and he has a good head on his shoulders. But he does not know how to play left back. So let's try him as a centre back. And whatever Newcastle and Schalke found from that, they felt it was good enough to make him even captain Newcastle. Cross was captaining the reserve side. So what I'm coming to is that I don't think Cross knows how to position himself and he knows how to mark as a left back. But the one thing he's good at, he's hardworking and he has a good pass. He does have a good pass, except for yesterday, what he was doing with that one, I don't know. But generally, he knows how to locate players. So that is one thing I've been picking up about Cross. And you guys will let me know if I'm reaching with this one. But anyway, Cross 2. Miguel and Dudley. Dudley, I'm going to give a 6 to 6.5. Let me say 6. It's difficult to give someone a 6 when we've conceded 4 goals. But honestly, Dudley did what he could. The rest, the team was just bad. It was just bad. It's one of those games where you can have a good defender, but you can still concede 10 goals, So so Dudley, I will give him some blame here and there. Maybe he could have positioned himself right, etc. But it's one of those games. Miguel, I'm going to give a 3, 3.53, somewhere there. Always late. Same. All of the goals that Chiefs have conceded in the previous seasons, is Miguel being late. Miguel is always late. I don't know why. He just doesn't have the pace to match the PSL players. And the thing is that Chiefs plays a high line, so I don't get playing a high line when you know you don't have a fast player, and Miguel is just not fast enough. The PSL players in this league are too fast for Cross, they are too fast for Miguel. And those are the two people who are always exposed when these players go out. Because they go out by Cross, they hit a diagonal pass that passes Dudley because he's trying to cover Cross, and then it's now up to Miguel to cover that ball. But Miguel is always late, so you can always just get tap-ins. For example, Nukovic, I can understand being beaten by Saile. Saile is pretty fast, but Nukovic, my God. Anyway, right back, Frosler, a bit better on the right. There wasn't too much hassle on the right, but there were moments here and there where he was struggling with Saile. And it goes back to that high line, and it goes back to, Nabi just needs to know how. Chiefs, in order for Chiefs to function, we need to figure out a way to move as a team. There should not be spaces between our midfielders, our strikers, and our defenders. There should just never be too much of a gap. But what I'm seeing is that there's always too much of a gap, and this one of the reasons why. And I know it's going to sound like it's reaching, but one of the reasons it's like this is because Chiefs is not used to the FNB Stadium. And when I say Chiefs not used to the FNB Stadium, you're going to find very different opponents in the FNB Stadium who play a very different game. If you don't know the extent of your ground, you won't know how to manage your ground. For example, if you know how to play a high line against a fast team and you don't know how to adjust to it, know one thing, FNB Stadium is a really big stadium. So if someone is going to catch you on a high line at FNB Stadium, know you're going to suffer because that ground is really big. But anyway, the next one is the center mid. I'm going to give a 7. Proper work. Proper work. Matt, I'm going to give a 5. Matt had an okay game. But I want to highlight something. A lot of people are saying, you guys stop blaming Matt. Matt is always the scapegoat. No, Matt is not the scapegoat, and I'm going to explain why. The reason why I say Matt has a fault in our midfield being weak is because of this. Matt is a hard-working player. Don't take that away from Matt. I will never take this away from Matt. Matt is one of the hardest-working players in the PSL. Not in Kaizer Chiefs, in the PSL. But His hard work is also the problem because he runs out of his position. And when he runs out of his position, he opens gaps in the midfield that these players who are smart like Abon Drovu and Abo Maboe, they find that pocket and they chill in that pocket. And the moment they chill in that pocket, that Mad is failing. Mad is dismally failing to understand that he's opening. That is how they go from getting the ball to Abonukovic to Abosail, because there are pockets of space that Mad is opening. Mad, if you play with a smart team will make it so that Mad disappears in the game because Mad doesn't understand positioning. They'll drag him away from where he's meant to be because Mad is a hard worker. He will just follow the ball and they'll drag him away from his position and they'll score that way. Which is why I say you can see Tele, they could not drag Tele away from his position. They can't because he knows what he's meant to be doing. But Matt doesn't. Matt gets dragged from his position. He finds himself so far from the midfielders to the strikers. He finds himself so far from the defenders. Like Matt is just playing in his own game. And that's why I'm saying even his passes, you'll see that he had a lot of accurate passes. Yes, because he's playing side to side. He's playing side to side, the side to side game. He's not penetrating. And whereas in this game itself, I could not really find Matt defensively. It felt like we didn't have a defensive midfielder. I don't even know. Matt was that player who... Could anyone in yesterday's game tell me, was Matt a defensive midfielder or was he an 8? No one knows. Because as an 8, did he benefit us going forward? No. As a 6, was he helping at the defending? No. So where was he in the game? But anyway, Serino, 5. Temper, I'm not going to talk about Serino. He just disappoints me all the time with his temper. And he's rubbing off on these players, the young ones especially. Then Modi, I'm going to give a 5. Unfortunate for him, got subbed. He didn't have a great game leading up to the goal, but that is sometimes what I expect of certain players. I expect certain players to be there when the moment is right. He can be having an offish game, but when the moment is right, I want him in the right places. And that's what Modi did in yesterday's game. So I feel him being subbed was a bit unfair. Give him another 10 minutes in the second half and let's give him a run. The person who was a problem was Cross. Anyway, Morris is one of those players. I can't bash him, etc. But he had 2 chances in the second half at goal. He had 2 chances that he could have buried in SuperSport United, and maybe the game was going to finish 4-2, or maybe it was going to be more competitive in that moment. Maybe finish 3-2, maybe finish 3-3. You never know how a goal swings a game. So Morris missed 2 chances in the box, and I don't get why people say, hey, Morris, you guys are bashing Morris. We knew what we're going to get with Morris, but it's also what you buy from Morris is a player who can't score goals. And yesterday, when we needed him the most, he couldn't deliver. And he does play his role well, but sometimes we just need him to score a goal, Sometimes. That's just what we need, Score a goal every third game, okay? Score a goal every third game. Maybe finish the season with 8 or 9 goals or something like that. I don't know, but try something. And then the next one is the Lollipop. Lollipop had a quiet game, but it's just because of how well Gavin Hunt planned for him. So he had a quiet game, but when Lollipop created chances, let's not take that away from him, created chances, and he scored our goal. So Lollipop is the one thing I like about Lollipop is when he has the ball, he creates a product. He's not fancy, he doesn't do too much, but when he has a chance in the box, when it's time for him to create a goal, he does what he needs to do. The only thing you need to do to get Lollipop to even function a bit better is to have certain players around him that are going to force him into certain spaces. And I think he still needs coaching. As old as he is, he still needs coaching. The coaching that I think Lollipop needs is even if you are a wide player, get closer to the box. You have the ability to score a lot of goals, but you are so far from the box. The goal that he scored, where did he score it? In the box. The goals he's scoring is in the box. So this thing of him always being wide, sometimes that's the biggest problem I have with Lollipop. Get closer to the box. Run behind, make a way to get into the box, because I trust your technique in the box more than I trust any other player at this moment. So I just want him to find ways to be an option even in the box. That's what I want. But anyway, what I'll say is that the tough thing about going to face Sundowns is that we just hope the Lollipop injury isn't going into the Sundowns game. The good part of it is maybe losing Serino for the Sundowns game is a good thing. Serino tends to be very emotional when he plays Sundowns. He tries to do too much. And maybe in the Sundowns game, we just need a team effort. We don't need an individual effort. We need a team effort. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a game where we share the ball, we play as a team, because Serino has shown that he tries too much against Sundowns. I don't know what he's trying to prove, but he tries too much. But anyway, the one thing I wanted to summarize this thing with is that blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise is this, guys. Sometimes the technical team needs to show management what the issue is. Sometimes the technical team needs to show management where the real problems are. And maybe in Nabi and them continually playing mat, continually playing cross, they are showing the management, Kaizer Jr., that don't be comfortable now that you've bought Lollipop. Don't be comfortable now that you've bought Tel. We are far from where we want to be, because there's a very big risk with Kaizer Chiefs management. If Nabi in the second half of the season won 9 games and started flying, his chances of getting players in June are going to go down, because management is going to be like, no, but you have good players, you have good momentum. I think you can do well with this team next season. Nabi does not want that, because Nabi knows the June transfer window is going to be the most important transfer window for him. So maybe Nabi is at that point where he understands as well that I have to show them what I have. I can't try fix these things too much, because if you fix them and you start defeating, it's going to be a problem. Maybe that's why Nabi will go and even approve Ditloko. Because Ditloko is solving a problem that I don't want them next season to not buy me a left back, because they're going to be like, but Ditloko is there. I don't want that. I want the left back that I need to play my game. So he's like, let me sell Ditloko. I'll sacrifice Ditloko to get what I want at the end of the season. So that is maybe the blessing in disguise. Is Nabi trying to expose the current players so that management can see that these guys are not good enough to take us forward? So make a plan, Kaizer Jr. Is this what Nabi is also trying to expose? So that if Nabi figures out a way to make our team currently win, it may hit him in the butt. It may be the thing that's going to force him to be playing with these players for the rest of the season. And this is why he's like, I would rather die with these players who are keep making mistakes and show management, good, I need more.